Well, hello there, friends. Good morning. Um, let's see how we're doing, where we're at. It is 6:22 a.m. and maybe we need a bit more light. Maybe that will help. How's that? I think that's better. Good morning, friends. Thanks for dropping by. It's 6:22 a.m. And here we are. I'm about to make my morning cup of coffee before I go on a walk. For those of you who are watching, my name is Toby. I am 41 years old and I am training to live an active, self-sufficient and adventurous life. I do so by minding my sleep, minding what I eat, and showing up to do some strength conditioning, mobility work every day. And at this point in time, I am recovering from an injury, so I am actually not able to do any of the training listed above except for walking. That's literally the only thing I'm allowed to do for a couple of days. Quick recap of what happened. I was on a roll, we were training well, everything was going fine, and then I wasn't paying attention while I was training during a relatively heavy lift. It isn't even a heavy lift, 20 kilos, I think. That is a suitcase that I would want to be carrying around while I'm traveling, or that is the weight of one of my children who needs to be picked up and carried up the stairs. And yet, here we go. What is what happened is that I lifted, and while I lifted, I wasn't paying attention. I didn't brace my core, and instead of lifting the kettlebell into the racked position from my legs, I predominantly used my back. You can see that in the video very clearly. I didn't snap my back in two, thank God. But it was definitely a very painful experience that put out my back and the muscle. I'm going to tell you where I am in my recovery in a moment. I just want you to have a clear understanding of what the situation is. Jeff VQ, thank you for dropping by and saying hi. I appreciate you saying hi and good morning. I hope you're doing well where you are in the world. I hope you're having a good end or start of the day, depending on where you're at. And Mel B, hey, great to see you. Thanks for dropping by, saying hi. I hope you're doing well. I hope those kettlebells are treating you well and giving you the benefits that you are looking after. And we'll talk a bit more about safety and proper technique during this stream than we maybe usually would, but it's a bit top of mind right now. Sorry to hear about your energy. I'm enjoying short videos. Oh, thank you very much. I appreciate that short videos are also doing well. I think the new format of me in the kitchen is also somewhat of a good way to convey the message to people. And I appreciate you dropping by, and I hope you're doing well where you are in the world. Jeff EQ, I'm glad to hear you're doing good. So you're a fitness influencer. I'm not sure, but it is a good question. I make videos about my fitness journey at 40. Actually starting at 39, I want to be fit at 40. How I got to that point, whether I was fit at 40, and the journey I'm on. So in that sense, maybe, but this is a channel about me as a man, as a father, in my 40s, trying to stay fit, trying to do all the right things for myself and my family, so that we can live a good and healthy and happy life, whatever that means. I guess maybe that makes me somewhat of a fitness influencer, but given the fact that a few people watch me, not a lot. I wouldn't actually call it influence, rather maybe creator, someone who creates content about staying fit and healthy and just sharing my journey. And right now, the journey actually is that I am injured. You sound sad. Hey, the Schmuck. That's a cool name. Thanks for dropping by and saying hi. I hope you're doing well, and I hope that you're having a good end of the day or start of the day, depending where you're at. It is 6:30 a.m. where I'm at, so it's the start of the day. I am making my coffee, and then I'm going to go out for a walk. I sound sad. I'm not. I'm not sad. I'm a bit bummed out. I'll be honest about that. I injured my back while training. No, this is generally how I talk. There are 5 people asleep in the house. We also have grandpa and grandma over for the kids, so I can't really speak too loud. But I hope I'm clearly audible. Let me just double check. I hope I'm clearly. No, I can sense that the sound on the video is coming through fine, so that's good. But no, I injured myself while training, and I train 7 days a week. I, for example, do strength conditioning on Monday with a lightweight, do mobility on Tuesday, do strength with a heavyweight on Wednesday, do mobility on a Thursday again, do strength conditioning with a medium weight on Friday, mobility on Saturday, and a longer run on Sunday. And I just started to add a sprint session to the mix on Wednesday mornings. So yeah, all in all, I'd say I'm a bit bummed out. Oops. Sorry about the noise. I'm a bit bummed out by the fact that I didn't pay attention. Maybe I'm more irritated with myself. I'm a bit more irritated with myself by the fact that I didn't pay attention, didn't brace properly, didn't lift properly, and now I am setting myself back on my training schedule by about 2 to 4 weeks, because at my age, and I think this comes to your question about being a fitness influencer, Jeff, a lot of things depend on me being fit and healthy. If you think about it, right? A lot of the things that my family wants to do. We're going on a family holiday in a couple of weeks. I need to show up for work. Things need to happen around the house. Kids need to go to sports practice. There are a lot of things that need to happen in order for the family to function. And what happens if I am not able to actually do what I need to do? So that's why we're talking about this road to recovery. We're also going to talk about long-term health and sitting in a moment. But let me just answer your question. We kids, you're 16. Thanks for dropping by, saying hi. I hope you're doing well where you're at in the world. And 16 is a great age. I remember being 16, and I remember there were a lot of friends, a lot of fun, a lot of games, a lot of sports. Sounds like you're going to the gym, so good on you. And I hope that it's going to pay off for the goals you have right now in life. And I hope you're well where you're at in the world at the moment. The Vilified Logic and Tubi. Thanks for dropping by, saying hi. And also for you, I hope you're doing well where you are in the world, and that life is treating you well, that you're having a good start or end of the day. So for me, where I'm at in this process and what the recovery looks like. Look, I got lucky. I could have given myself a hernia or worse to my back, but I didn't. I think maybe it's because I'm well trained and strong and able that it isn't as bad as it could be, but whatever the reason, I am recovering relatively quickly, as in my back, the muscle, and the spine told me that I needed to stop. I stopped. I've been resting, and every day I'm gaining a bit more of my range of motion, mobility, pain-free movement. Back, I'm very stiff. I can't accelerate, and I would rather not lift up any load at the moment. But given where we were on Wednesday, and I had a full checkup yesterday with the physiotherapist physically. Wednesday was on the phone. He did all of the tests confirming that it was not, there were no signs of a herniation or anything, no sign of a nerve being pinched. Simply need to let my body recover the way it's recovering, and then next week see what becomes possible again. But that means for the next 7 days, the only thing that I'm really able to do is walk, and walk a lot. That is a good thing, but also a setback, right? Because I can't accelerate, I can't push myself to walk fast, so I'm also not really working out, I'm just keeping myself moving. In terms of activity, that means a huge setback in the amount of activity I actually will experience over the course of the 10 days, that the day that I got injured to the day that maybe I can start doing a bit more again next week Friday, or not coming Monday, but the Monday after. That's 12 days almost. So what are my main concerns in those days? Getting proper sleep, trying to get as much rest time and sleep as I possibly can to speed up the recovery, and minding my nutrition. So the basics, again, don't change, because like I said at the start, I try to live an active, self-sufficient, adventurous life, and I want to be fit and strong. I do that by minding my sleep, minding what I eat, and showing up for different kinds of training. The training or movement at the moment is walking, so I need to be more mindful of my sleep, and specifically of what I'm eating, because it is now going to be very easy to overeat. When I'm more active, I am generally using a bit more energy, not a lot, but generally a bit more energy than I would when I'm just resting, which is another reason why I'm happy I don't just have to sit, so I can get up and walk for 2, 3, 4 hours in a day. But I'm not building muscle, and I'm not pushing my heart rate up. So I'm not really getting the intensity that I'm used to, which means that I will be using less energy throughout the day. And that means that I need to be very mindful of what I eat, or I'm going to come out of these 2 weeks-ish with an extra kilo on my bones or more. And that is an outcome that I definitely want to avoid, because one of my goals over my lifespan is weight maintenance, right? Maintaining the same weight and slowly trading in soft mass for muscle mass. So just keep that in mind. Senor Champions, Vi Corinthians, thanks for dropping by, saying hi. And 405, that's a 200 kilo bench press, that's quite impressive. Thanks for dropping by, Unknown Bikes editor, hi. Logan Creed. Thanks for dropping by, saying hi, and I hope you're doing well, and I hope you're having a good start of the day where you're at, and I hope that whatever the day brings, it's going to be a good day. And Logan, I like to make my own coffee. Everyone else is sleeping, but regardless of that, I just I'm relatively self-sufficient both in life and kitchen, if that makes sense. Duh, Toby. Speeder over my wrist a couple of days ago, saying handstands, so reuse injury. Take it easy for a bit. Doug, it's good to see you. Thanks for dropping by, and I appreciate the concern. I'm sorry to hear that you're injured in your wrist, or injured your wrist while training. Yes, I empathize. It's no fun because we have to take it easy, right? But it doesn't mean we can't. There's nothing we can do. It just means that we have to do different things for our health as our body prepares itself for dealing with different kinds of loads again. And I hope that wrist is nothing serious. I've worn a brace a couple of years ago because I sit and type a lot, and there were some issues. The carpal tunnel that luckily went away and seemed to keep going away when I train. Inya Kotala, thanks for dropping by and saying hello, and I hope you're doing well, and I hope you're having a good start of the day where you're at. I don't chant any mantras on the channel, but I appreciate you dropping by and saying hi in the chat, and I hope you're doing well where you are in the world. So, just being mindful of the fact that when the circumstances of life change in this favor of the program that I usually follow, and I'll tell you why I follow that program in a moment, it doesn't mean that there is absolutely nothing that I have control over when it comes to my health and fitness. In fact, there are a lot of things that I can control because, like I always say, exercise is those 30 minutes out of 23 and a half that are related to my general health and fitness. What I do in the other 23 and a half hours of the day matters as much as what I do in those 30 minutes where I'm training. In fact, and we learn that when we look at something like sitting, which we maybe do too much of, is that, the 30 minutes of training does not do enough to offset all of the inactivity or bad habits that we have throughout the day. So you can train very hard for 30 minutes, but then eat poorly and not sleep well, and be sedentary for the rest of the day. You're not necessarily going to get healthier and fitter despite the fact that you've done your 30 minutes of exercise. We need to look at this challenge of health and fitness holistically over the entire day. And when we start doing that, it also starts to become fun and exciting to actually look for opportunities to be active and to move around rather than to sit still and work and think. And I'll talk about that in a second. But why am I into this? Well, P. Diddy, nice ASMR voice. Thanks for dropping by, and I appreciate the compliment. I hope you're doing well where you are in the world, and I hope you're having a good start of the day or end of the day, depending where you're at. We're just talking about my long-term health goals, how I'm recovering and dealing with my injury, and we're going to revisit the bigger picture goals as I prepare to go out for a walk this morning. And I'm glad to hear that it's nothing serious. Yeah, exactly. But we will still be a bit less active. But if we have a wrist injury, we can still do body weight squats and lunges and reverse squats without weights, if we're able to keep our balance. So we can keep working the legs, which are actually the largest muscles in the body. So we're going to get a pretty good workout in. It is just a bit monotonous. But hey, something is definitely better than nothing. Is that right? I wish I could do some squats, but the way I'm sitting down and standing up, that is definitely not going to happen more or frequently than is absolutely necessary. So why am I doing this? Let's revisit my goals so you can kind of mirror your goals to them. I always start off by saying that this is about the way I feel, not about the way I look. I would like to feel fit, capable, and competent for life and for whatever life is going to throw at me. And there are many things that life might decide to throw at me, right? It's not just a given that everything in life is going to be going fine, as we witnessed Wednesday morning. So I want to be physically capable and competent, mentally, emotionally, financially. And I believe that being physically active and fit is going to help me reach those, live that way. I've understood that life expectancy is increasing, but we're not necessarily staying as healthy. In other words, I'm just going to be walking in place a bit before my back gets super stiff from standing still. We are spending those extra years, part of those extra years, 2 or 3 more years, in disease and discomfort. And some of that disease and discomfort actually is very preventable. So here's what's in it for me, right? I would like to delay or completely prevent the onset from any preventable diseases by as long as I can. And I would like to maintain my ability for as long as I can. Do I want to live to be 150? No, not necessarily. But I would like to get to as close to my own demise as possible, while being as capable as I possibly could, as independent as I possibly could, as fit and healthy as I possibly could, so that I can do the things that I want to do when I want to do them. And I was listening to a podcast about longevity the other day, where I think 10 years ago, the oldest lady in the world, 115 years old in Italy, was still incredibly self-sufficient and capable. And I would like to reach old age in that state. And the lifestyle choices I make today are probably going to contribute to that more than any medical intervention is going to be able to do that. That's one. The second one is that I have 2 young children, and I would like to set a good example to them of what it means to live an active life, what it means to be active, sporty, capable as a father, as someone in their middle and later stages of life, so that they have something to aspire to and to look forward to, but also to be a very active part of their life. Because right now you can imagine, despite the fact that we do play, the play is a bit less involved, or has been a bit less involved in the last couple of days, because I am injured, and they notice it. They are worried. They ask me if I'm okay, and they're very caring and kind. But they also sometimes forget and try to hang on my arms, and I have to remind them that I'm not supposed to be carrying any load to give my back a chance to recover. So all those kinds of concerns, right? Those are the main goals that we're working towards. And there are a couple of challenges that we would face on that journey. By the way, coffee and mocha, does it taste bitter? Mine always comes out more bitter than just using a filter. Yeah, you can try that with different coffees or different volumes of coffee in the mocha, or how hard you press it down. That might change the level of bitterness. There's more or less a sweet spot with this particular type of coffee, and how much, and sometimes I just hit it, sometimes I put a bit too much in, or the balance between the water and the coffee is slightly off. But yeah, generally it tastes more bitter than when I used to get it from my regular espresso machine, which is broken down and which is going to cost a fortune to replace. So we are not doing our homework, we're just waiting to see what the future brings before we go from this to a different kind of coffee machine. But it's a great question, and yes, I have that same experience with my mocha. YouTube Punk, hey friend, I hope you're doing all right, and I hope life is treating you well where you're at in Texas. We were just talking about my back and how I injured myself, and how we are trying to deal with the aftermath of that, and I'm taking it easy in what is and isn't important right now, and why balancing movement with sleep and nutrition now is even a bit more important than it was, than we might think, because I'm not as active as I was on my regular training schedule. So long-term health, what are the 3 things that we need to understand? We can summarize it in this sentence: deterioration is inevitable. In other words, at a certain point in life, we are going to start losing our aerobic capacity, we're going to start losing our bone density, we're going to start losing muscle and strength. And the rate is about 1% a year, and the age probably around 30, 40. Definitely in our 50s, for muscle and strength, you're going to start noticing big differences. We can also halt or reverse this trend entirely, but I think the the thing is, like, if it were graphs, right? If this is growth and health when we are younger, right? Over time, well, that will probably taper off, right? And instead, we will start to experience decline as we grow older. Well, you'll see, that was a very stupid graphic, by the way, forget about that, right? So you'll be growing stronger, and then you'll steady out, and then you will start to decline over time. But in order to maximize the physical ability, your exercise level then needs to stay stable, but actually to fight off that decline, you need to increase the intensity of your exercise, right? That's the graph that I was trying to show you, but I'm not sure if that came through very well. I don't think so. In other words, at one point you are exercising to prevent decline or to stay stable at a certain level. And if you need to rebuild cardiovascular health or aerobic capacity, if you need to rebuild bone density at that stage, if you need to build muscle and strength at that stage, you're going to have to work progressively harder to stay healthier over time. Whereas if you arrive at that stage relatively aerobically capable, relatively used to challenging your bones by doing resistance or any kind of other load-bearing exercises, and with a relatively solid amount of muscle and strength and lean mass versus soft tissue, you are in a better position to maintain and maybe even grow a bit stronger to offset those declines, which will mean that overall in life you're going to stay more capable. So, you know, hey Izzy, thanks for dropping by and saying hello. I hope you're doing well where you're at in the world. And I hope that life is treating you well, that you're having a good start or end of the day, depending on where you're at. So your physical health at any given time literally is a direct result of the lifestyle. If, you know, there are no medical conditions or genetic conditions or life conditions that are getting in the way. And life conditions, by the way, I mean that you are not capable to invest in, I think, health and genetic, clear. And the life conditions is that you're not capable to invest in your health and fitness because you're working 3 jobs, because you live in a food desert where finding proper food is unavailable, whether the environment in any other way, the social or socio-economic environment in any other way is hostile to your health. Those are valid concerns and things to want to address when we look at this big picture of our health and fitness, right? It's not just about showing up and training. That's the thing that is most visible. So we're talking about fitness influencers, right? That is what we can show, but it's not the thing that is actually going to help us get the most out of our health and fitness. That being said, friends, I can hear the family waking up. This is going to be the end of this morning stream, and I'm going to be going out for my morning walk. Abusies, thanks for dropping by and saying hi, and I hope you're doing well where you are in the world. This is coffee with foamed soy milk, because I'm lactose intolerant, so we tend to keep soy milk in the house. Generally, that is the only cup of coffee with which I consume, mixed with milk. All my other coffees are straight up single or double espressos throughout the day. Thanks. I wish the same for you and your wrist. For those of you who are watching, my name is Toby. I'm 41 years old, and I'm training to live an active, self-sufficient, and adventurous life. I do so by minding my sleep. I try to sleep between 7 and 9 hours. I do so by minding what I eat. I try to eat within my energy balance. I try to eat a lot of greens and vegetables, and I try to eat 120 to 150 grams of protein, bringing that down now considering the situation with my back slightly. And I show up to do some form of exercise, whether it's strength conditioning, pure conditioning, mobility, spend time with people I love and care about, do things that I enjoy, and generally try to live a stress-free life. If that's something you're interested in, you go ahead, check out my channel, and subscribe, like the videos, and we can continue this conversation. Geese88, good morning. Good morning back to you. I'm glad to hear from you. I hope you're doing well where you're at in the world. Life's treating you well. My back is doing better. Had it checked yesterday by a physiotherapist, did all the tests to confirm that it's not a herniation, for which I'm very grateful. And I seem to be on a good path to recovery every day. There's less stiffness, less pain, greater range of motion. So we estimate that probably in about 2 weeks I will be at a stage where I can start reintroducing exercise. I might extend that to 3 weeks just to be sure, but we will be back on track soon enough. These live streams will be about how I'm coping with the intermediate and what I'm trying to do to stay on track on the general health goals now that I cannot do any load-bearing training for a while. I hope you're doing well where you are in the world as well. Abuser, thank you very much. I appreciate you telling me that and letting me know. Calisthenics or weight training? I train with kettlebells, so that would be weight training. How did I hurt my back? I didn't focus while I was lifting. I was too focused on sharing interesting content or sharing my knowledge about health and fitness with the people on the stream rather than focused on the lift, which was really dumb on my part because I should have taken a pause, taken a proper breath, focused on the lift, braced properly, and lifted from my legs, and I lifted 20 kilos off the floor. Tried to clean 20 kilos off the floor with my back, and you can see the complete movement. I'm wrong. Yeah, YouTube punk, what can I say? I love my friends online. It can happen to us all, yeah. It shouldn't happen to me. I mean, I have a stream about it, so I should know what I'm doing. No, it can, and I am fortunate that it isn't worse than what it is at the moment. Like I said, progressing, healing slowly, and that is a good thing. And to be very honest, all of your positive messages during the stream and also after, under videos, under my posts, in follow-up streams, are heartwarming and are helping me on my recovery. That's all I have for you today, friends. I hope you are doing well. It's 10:54 p.m. in Los Angeles. It's 6:54 a.m. in Amsterdam. So here we are across the world, and I'm happy that we're connected. And Michael, yes, being careful lifting weights is indeed a good piece of advice. My coffee is finished. Maybe you can hear the racket upstairs. That means one of the kids is up. Remember, we're good just the way we are. We've got to love ourselves before we can move on. And the only way to get anything done, friends, is by showing up and doing the work. I appreciate you dropping by, saying hi. Check out my shorts and other videos. And I will be posting more content as I recover. And we will continue to have the conversation about health and fitness and longevity into our 40s, 50s, and 60s. Friends, have a good day. Take care. And as you saw me creep off screen there, you can see that I'm still not moving as well as I should. And remember, subscribe. Take care, friends.